あら、ノキシ、帰ってたんですの？あなたも混ざりますの？
Welcome back to Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Last time, Rudius was saved by a man that introduced himself as Gallus Cleaner. Roxy and her companions, Talhand and Elina Lise, embarked on a city-wide search for Paul's missing family, including Rudius. At first, their efforts seem promising, but Roxy soon discovers that Rudius has been traveling incognito, leaving her with no clue of his whereabouts. Despite the setback, Roxy presses on, determined to leave no stone unturned. As she scours the city for any hint of Rudius or his family, Roxy chances upon a surprising sight: Eris and Reborn locked in a fierce sparring match. Alarmed by the display of superb strength, Roxy decides to make a hasty retreat. Though she hasn't found any leads on Rudius, she knows she can't give up just yet. After exhausting all leads and coming up empty-handed, Roxy and her companions reluctantly decide to move on to the next town. Meanwhile, Rudius and his party manage to make their escape from the city by sea, thanks to Gallus's assistance in smuggling Reborn aboard the ship. Once they reach the port town of Zant, Rudius sets out to fulfill his end of the bargain with Gallus. He heads to the smuggler's hideout, where he learns that he must liberate a group of captive beast children in exchange for Gallus's help. With Reborn by his side, Rudius unleashes his magical prowess and obliterates the smugglers, freeing the children from their captivity. However, their triumph is short-lived, as Rudius finds himself ambushed and taken prisoner by a pair of beastmen, who mistake him for one of the smugglers. They plan to take him back to their village for questioning. Rudius finds himself locked up in Doldia village alongside Geese, a fellow human prisoner who had turned rogue. As they spend a few days in confinement, their fate takes an unexpected turn when the village comes under attack from ruthless smugglers seeking to abduct beast children. Rudius and Geese manage to break free and join forces with the villagers to fend off the attackers. In a fierce battle that ensues, the group fights bravely, taking down many of their foes. However, the mastermind behind the smuggling ring, a villainous man named Gallus, proves to be a formidable adversary, overpowering Geese and killing two of his accomplices. Rudius realizes that he cannot defeat Gallus alone and considers letting him escape. Just when all hope seems lost, a sacred beast arrives on the scene, turning the tide of the battle in favor of the good guys. Together, Rudius, Geese, and the villagers succeed in vanquishing Gallus and his henchmen. Following the battle, Rudius is overjoyed to reunite with Eris and Reborn, who were delayed in their arrival due to helping the Doldians eradicate the rest of the smuggling ring. The villagers are remorseful for falsely accusing Rudius and are grateful for his assistance in saving their village. However, back in Fitoa, Eris's grandfather bears the brunt of the city's woes following the Mana Surge. He is stripped of his position, accused of wrongdoing, and ultimately executed by the king. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is the best manipulator in anime? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now, back to the recap. As the rainy season descends upon them, Rudius and his party find themselves trapped in Doldia village for the next 3 months. Despite the lack of mobility, they make the most of their stay and become acquainted with the locals. Eris, in particular, forms a strong bond with the beast children of the village, including the feisty and determined Tona, daughter of the village's most skilled warrior, Geese. However, one day, the mention of a name sends shockwaves through the air. It is Ghislaine, the sister of Geese, who had left the village long ago and is regarded as a traitor for declining to serve as a guardian. Gee's demeanor darkens as he recounts the story of his sister's departure, sparking Tona's interest in the art of sword fighting. Eris, being a skilled fighter herself, readily agrees to become Tona's mentor. As time passes, the rains cease, and Rudius and his companions prepare to depart. But their departure is marred by a sudden falling out between Eris and Tona, who is reluctant to let go of her newfound friend. Geese intervenes, offering a heartfelt apology and revealing the hidden truth about Ghislaine's banishment from the village. He confesses his regret at not understanding his sister's reasons for leaving and pleads with Tona to make amends. With peace restored, Rudius and his group set out for the holy country of Milis, taking Geese along for the ride. Upon arriving at the bustling capital city of Milis, Milishion, the party finds themselves amidst the hustle and bustle of the busy streets. Geese, a member of the group, decides to part ways, bidding farewell to his companions. Meanwhile, Rudius, the ever-resourceful protagonist, suggests that everyone take the day off to rest and explore the city. Just as Rudius is about to kick back and relax, he notices a commotion nearby. It appears that a kidnapping is taking place, and without hesitation, Rudius springs into action. Following the kidnappers, he confronts them head-on, only to be taken aback by the sight of their leader, none other than Paul himself. Paul's explanation leaves Rudius dumbfounded. For the past year and a half, Paul and his team have been tirelessly tracking down all of the missing villagers and their families, all of whom were victims of the teleportation disaster that befell their home village. Rudius is struck with guilt upon hearing this, realizing that he had never thought to do the same or even write a letter home. As their conversation turns heated, the two get into a heated argument that is only diffused by the intervention of Norn. Memories of Rudius's past come flooding back, reminding him of the times he was shunned in his previous life. Overwhelmed by his emotions, Rudius flees the scene. Fortunately, Eris is there to lift Rudius's spirits. With her cheerful disposition and unwavering support, she manages to put a smile on his face, easing the weight on his shoulders. Rudius is grateful for the act. Geese, a wise and thoughtful creature, pays a surprise visit to Paul, shedding light on his true identity as a member of Paul's party. With a gentle nudge, Geese encourages Paul to mend his relationship with Rudius, reminding him that forgiveness is essential, especially for a child. As Paul reflects on his past actions, he is plagued by nightmares of the worst-case scenarios that could have befallen Rudius. Determined to make amends, he vows to quit drinking, a habit that has caused him much grief in the past. The next day, Rudius and Paul cross paths once again, their meeting initially steeped in awkwardness. However, as they delve deeper into their conversation, Rudius realizes that Paul misunderstood his initial intentions and is now attempting to make amends. A heart-to-heart conversation ensues, and the two reconcile, with Paul offering a heartfelt apology. As they bid each other farewell, Rudius confides in Paul that he plans to embark on a mission to search for his missing family after ensuring Eris's safe return home. Despite knowing the danger that lies ahead, Rudius is determined to find his loved ones, and nothing will deter him from his mission. Now it's time for the shout-out. Today we will be shouting out Taz X-Man, who commented, "I'd say Kenichi from history's strongest disciple. Kenichi is the best martial artist. Thanks for commenting, and great opinion." After parting ways with Rudius, Paul receives some encouraging news from Geese. He learns that Geese will continue to search for the rest of Paul's family, traveling to uncharted territories in search of any leads. As Rudius and his party embark on their journey across the sea to the central continent, Roxy finds herself returning to her home village, a place she once called home. Despite being excited to see her parents again, Roxy can't shake the feeling of displacement that comes with her inability to communicate telepathically with her fellow villagers. Nevertheless, she decides to push through and make the most of her time with her family. Although the thought of leaving immediately crosses her mind, Roxy realizes how much her parents have missed her and decides to stay. It's not long before she begins to catch up on all the things she's missed during her travels. As she spends time with her family, Roxy learns that Rudius had visited her parents 2 years ago, and the news brings her immense relief. With her mind at ease, Roxy is able to depart with their companions and continue their search for Rudius's family on the Demon Continent. What will happen next? Find out on our next recap of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation.